to this next story. It's Saoirse Ronan. She kind of silenced a few of guests on the Graham Norton Show. Let's take a look at what Saoirse said.
I find some of the techniques, though, that you learn, like some of the things Paul taught us, is how you can use your phone if someone's attacking you, the butt of your phone to go over the neck.
Who's actually going to think about that, though? If someone attacks me, I'm not going to go phone.
I agree.
Can you wait 1 second? 1 second.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. But I like the
That's what
thought
girls
of it.
have to think about all the time.
Yeah.
Am I right, ladies?
Well
the
done,
guys are like,
Saoirse.
no, fair enough.
I know, their body language completely changed, but I thought it was actually a really brave thing for her to do. Because she could have just laughed it off, couldn't she, in that situation? She was the only female there. Sonia, what did you think?
I'm so glad she said it, and she's totally right. It is something that women, girls have to think about when they're out at night by themselves. You know, a lot of us will be there where, you know statistically you're safe on average, but you know that bad things happen and we see them in the news. And if you hear somebody walking behind you and you turn around, it's a man, you start to think, who is he? What are his motivations?
Cross the road, just a guy, you cross the road.
I still remember when I was, when I was 14 or 15 at school, I went to a girls' school, and we had a policewoman come in to talk to us about sort of how to keep yourself safe. It was really frightening. I still think about that talk that we had from her because, stuff was said to us like, so if someone attacks you and they put you in a car and they drive away, like, that is very bad. Like, you've got to avoid that happening. But one of the things that she said was, you've got to be careful how you do it because you don't want to end up getting prosecuted for physically attacking somebody. But if you put your keys in between your fingers when you're walking alone, home alone at night, then at least you've got some form of protection if someone tries to attack you. And I heard that when I was 14 and 15, and that is something that I still do sometimes if I'm feeling, I know it's something that other women do. So it was a very light conversation they were having on that show, and they were having a laugh. And, it's fine for men... Men will joke about it because they do, but it's really good that a woman, that Saoirse, spoke up in that situation and just reminded the men around her that actually it might be quite funny to you, but this is something that women have to think about.
Nick?
I think that will have probably more impact than any government education campaign because of the context. Let's face it, he does a brilliant show. There are tremendous guests there.
Absolutely.
But for that message to come across, and she doesn't labour it, she gets it out there, it's done. I think it will have more impact than any ads that you could possibly run.
And it's something you shouldn't have to think about, and you shouldn't have to think about.
I agree.
We should be thinking about.
But sadly, we live in a society where male violence is a massive issue. We know it's something, I think it's 1 in 12, the statistics are, that women and girls that will experience some form of kind of male violence or sexual assault or attack. And so we live in a society where that's the case. There's way more we could be doing to reduce the incidence of that. And that is actually partly about sort of how we educate boys and bring up our boys. And we've all got a responsibility to that. But it's not, there were always going to be some bad men in the world.
That never disappears. It's always there.
It's psychological, isn't it?
When it's dark. And obviously we've got dark nights now. It never leaves.
But that's why, in a weird way, it's so important that she brought it up in this context.
I agree.
Because you could be on any talk, she could be on this couch and we can be talking about it. But she's surrounded by... I've interviewed those two guys, not Denzel, lovely guys, they're enlightened guys. Graham's an enlightened guy, right? So the fact that they're taking their own safety for granted, as me and you do, that's why it's so important.
They don't... And why would you? You don't put yourself in the heads of women and what it's like, but it's just brilliant to have that reminder from her. And I think it was quite... Even though it's a funny show, it was quite a sobering moment in some ways.
Because for a split second they did.
Like, oh, God,
I didn't even think of it. We only live our lives through our own lens, don't we?
Did an event once with a female MP I won't name. We're leaving the studios. I say, oh, I've lost my door keys. They must be in my car. I'll go... And she said, I always have my door keys when I'm walking home for exactly what you just described, because I know... I know if I can use the door key as a...
Oh, my God, it's so
and it just suddenly... dawned
well
on me.
done, Saoirse.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm so glad you did that.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.